Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Hey. It's like he's doing the worm on the sofa.
What up,
What
though?
up?
What up?
What up?
It feels good to be here.
It does. Welcome to Queen's Table. Another Sunday in the books. We are missing one of our queens, though, this week. Our little Bonnie.
I love you, Bonnie.
We miss you very much.
Miss
But
you.
we got Suge here to take her place this week.
I'm standing there for my soul twin because we think alike.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I would like to point out, though, that earlier today, Bonnie made a clear fact of calling Kanzi Queen Kanzi for when he guests on our show. So that's just going to stay. Queen Kanzi.
Kanzi.
Queen Kanzi when he's on.
Oh, Queen Kanzi.
So how was everybody's week? Talk about it.
My week was shitty.
Yeah.
It wasn't up and down. It wasn't straight and narrow. It was shitty.
It was just poop all week.
Poop all the way.
Ugh.
All the way. How was your week?
Mine was, I had like one little self-care day. That was kind of nice. We had some tough appointments. We got to get ready for hospice and stuff. So we took care of that. But other than that, like it was a good week. Huh?
I'm sorry.
What?
My poom poom just vibrated for some reason.
Wait, what? Is this something that, like, we gotta talk about that?
Welcome to Queen's Table.
Does this happen
Often?
Well, I wasn't expecting it to happen now.
Just out of the blue, it just vibrates?
Yeah.
Do you have like the special panties that do that?
I do not.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
I guess that means I'm due. How was your week, sir?
My week was busy. You know, we moving around, and my balls ain't vibrating.
So it's good. Normal day.
What the fuck? That was weird.
It was.
We thought it was.
We agree.
Oh, wow. Whew.
So let's get the show started. We have to begin the show, unfortunately, today with a serious topic that we need to discuss. We had two massacres within a few days of each other. We had the Buffalo Massacre at Tops Market, and then we had the Texas shooting at Uvalde Elementary. Yeah. So we haven't had a chance to talk about either one. How are you guys feeling about things overall?
I don't know. Listen. I spoke on Say last week. We talked about the multiple issues that are probably causing these things. First and foremost, America loves its guns, so we're allowed to possess and own these assault rifles that aren't necessary. And then also we don't deal with the mental health crisis properly. And then there's the hate thing. Like, there's just people in America who hate other people for color, religion, politics, whatever. That all of the little things that divide us. So I feel, because I've been podcasting now for 5 years, I have spoke on this so many times. I'm tired. That's just me. I'm tired. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I think that the Buffalo one was probably set up to happen because there was an officer that was killed. His name was Aaron Salter, and he actually invented an engine that runs on water for vehicles.
I saw that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's some conspiracy theories floating around
There was
about
actually another man that actually did the same thing years before, and he actually was murdered as well.
I don't put
He
anything
didn't
past
get a
our
chance.
government.
He didn't get a chance to come forward and show his invention. And just when Aaron Salter was actually sitting down and meeting with people to get his invention out there, then this happened.
I mean, I don't put that past our government, honestly, because there's been our government's responsible for a lot of assassinations over the history of this country. So I don't put it past them to sacrifice other people in the process of getting this one.
Right.
But I guess
definitely agree. That Buffalo one, we know was racially charged.
Yeah.
That was I heard about it, and this is how desensitized I am. I was like, oh, another one, basically, when I heard about that. And this is before I knew that he went there to target black and brown people.
Mm-hmm.
And then my lovely daughter decided to show me a video, which sent my anxiety through the roof because I didn't know there was a video of this man going through it, just murdering people, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to see that. Like to this day, I still haven't watched George Floyd. There's certain videos I don't watch.
Yeah.
For my personal sanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm over it.
I think I'm disgusted. I think that's the only word I can find at this point. I'm disgusted with the police that were involved, especially in Texas. I am disgusted with our politicians and how they react to this. Every single time, it's the same fucking cycle. We have a mass shooting. Everybody gets outraged on social media. Politicians tell us it's not a gun problem. Then we get outraged some more. Then everybody calms down. And then we have another one. And it's the same fucking cycle over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw a reporter that went at Ted Cruz. He was talking to him about gun control after the shooting happened. And he told him, he was like, you know, what are your perspective on this? You know, what do you think, what laws or what gun control should be passed? And he was like, oh, you're making this political. And the guy was like, it is political because you control who has access to guns. It is a political issue. He was like, oh, no, this is the wrong time. We shouldn't be talking about this now. Right now, we should be praying for the family. Inevitably, this journalist went in on Ted Cruz. They started getting into a fighting match because... No, it wasn't in the restaurant. This was a reporter.
Oh, because somebody ran up on him at a restaurant, too. I saw that.
But it was a British reporter, and he asked him, he was like, why is it that mass shootings only happen in the United States? And that is true. We are the only country that has this problem. Australia had one mass shooting like 20 plus years ago. They shifted their laws so quickly, and so if they've not had a single one since then. Everybody still has gun rights. But there's just different ways.
Just think of a country who, when you're creating all of your laws, the second one you create is all of our citizens should have guns.
But that's not what it says. That drives me crazy when people say that. The Second Amendment gives me the right to bear. The Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms in an organized militia. They had no idea that AR-15s, they had fucking muskets.
Yeah, back then
they had no idea what weapons were going to look like today.
When you start your country on that, as the country evolves, it just becomes that, the love of the... Just like slavery, like everything that the country was built on, all that stuff still exists today.
Yeah.
We still love our guns. Black folks still aren't being treated everything that was the fabric of this country, we still deal with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And guns is part of the problem, and mental health, because a lot of our insurances don't cover mental health resources. Like, they don't cover therapy. They don't cover the meds that you might need for that stuff. So, and some people don't even have insurance.
I think there's so many people that are in charge right now that still come from that generation where if you had mental health issues, that was viewed as weakness, or well, just suck it up, or it's no, but just get over it. There's so many people that came from that time period that are still in power. So I feel like they don't recognize the importance of it until it affects them. It's one of those things. Until one of your children has mental health issues, or until you experience it yourself, you're never going to take it seriously. While there's millions of people suffering with it in the meantime, so you figure it out. It's just, I find it insulting at this point. I'm just frustrated with it.
Well, I think I'm going to speak on the mental health issue. So a situation happened with me this past week with my son. He is special needs, but he's high functioning. And it's been an ongoing thing where people bully him because of his weight in school. So this past week, he texted me while I was at work. He said, Mom, these kids are bullying me and they're calling me overweight and stuff like that. I said, call me and put me on speaker. So he calls me, puts me on speaker, and I can hear these kids in the background making fun of him. And then I hear the teacher talking about weight as well. she's not checking the kids that are bullying him. You know what I'm saying?
Why would you alienate?
So then I tell him, get up, go to the principal's office and tell the principal's office, right? So he gets up and he leaves the classroom and goes. He did everything he's supposed to do. He went to get help, and he talked to the principal and everything. The principal says, we have to separate the issue from regular ed and IU. So the IU is going to take care of the situation because he's an IU. So he goes back to the classroom, and he ends up stabbing the kid with a pencil.
Shit.
So guess what happens when he goes back to the classroom? The kid, this is what I went through this week. The kid was standing right there as soon as he goes back to the class. So my thing is, bullying is not okay. When somebody is seeking out help, knowing that somebody's highly aggressive and they're asking for help them. Because this is how mass shootings happen. Because people are reaching out for help, people that have mental issues, people that are on medication, they're asking for help and you're ignoring them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to, make excuses for the shooter in Texas or whatever, but still, it's like there's two sides to everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on both sides. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of empathize with the mom because she's like, please, my son, forgive him. You know what I'm saying? Because not all parents know what their kids are doing every day. You know what I'm saying? But the mother of the shooter.
Mother, yeah.
So
forgive him. Now, no, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, my son, you know what I'm saying? Like, he goes through shit on a daily basis. Now, I know he wouldn't do something like that. Yeah. But, like,
but you see how kids get there. Yeah.
Because you keep being... I was... Like, now that I'm older, I look back on the kid that I was. And I wasn't a bad kid. And I wasn't intentionally malicious. But I came up in an era where snapping and cutting on people was thing. And I was good at it.
Right.
And I would get these kids, and I've had people come up to me in my adulthood and tell me, you fucked me up as a kid. Like, the shit that you were saying to me, these are people, like, we were in our 30s at the time, and they're telling me, like, yo, like, you made high school hard for me. And I'm just like, damn, I'm sorry. Because you don't, as a kid, you just, and like I said, it was the culture. Like, we snapped on each other. Back then, it was cool to talk about your mom or this, your mom or that.
Right. Like, you would just sit and roast each other. Like, that kind of thing was fun. And I think I always looked at it like, when we were younger, even if you were getting bullied at school, when you went home, it was done. Like, now, that's not how it is. When
it's
kids, because of social media, when that child goes home, he can be constantly berated by the same thing. He never gets away from it.
Not to mention, it has been ongoing for my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been suspended.
Yeah.
You know, it's been the same group of kids that's been doing it. And
we had a kid that was bullied because of his race, and he called us, and I told them the next time they put their hands on you, whoop that ass. And tell the principal to call me.
Yeah, well, that's what we do tell him. His dad and I do tell him that, like, unless somebody puts their hands on you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's when you go in, when they put their hands on you. But, like, you know, he choked somebody out already at this school. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an ongoing thing. Why isn't the school stepping up? He's with the shit. Like, he like, he don't mess with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the last meeting that we had, we went through the steps. This is what you do if you feel like you're about to snap. And he did it. He went to the teacher first. Yeah. She didn't do a goddamn thing. He called me. Yeah. I said, do this. Yeah. He did it. Nobody stepped up.
You ever tell them that you snuffed it?
Well, you know, if they put their hands on him, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
I feel like a lot of it, too, is the school administration. Like, what are they missing? What is falling through the cracks on the day-to-day basis? Because the school sent your son to ISS with the other students. Put them in the same room. And the teacher told you that he was lying, that they weren't bullying because she didn't know you had been on the speakerphone and heard them for herself.
Yep.
Why did he stab him instead of hitting him?
I don't even know, but he just went ham. I don't know.
Well, this is where therapy should come in because.
Well, he's in therapy.
Because if it keeps increasing, he might be the shooter next time.
Well, yeah,
What's after stabbing?
I mean, yeah.
I think the school district too plays a part of it.
It does.
That school district
Are you a gun owner?
I am.
They're locked away.
They are. But they know how. All my kids know how to shoot.
I just hope that there's no kids like I was so vicious to people. Like thinking back when I was a kid, like I used to go home and at night I would think of the stuff that would like be personal for these people that I had problems with.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come up with the jokes, like if your mom was a crackhead,
if they had fucked up teeth.
Back in like junior high, like if you heard the girl was sucking D, like she was a hoe for the school. So I would do like if I knew that you did that to some.
He filtered himself.
Yeah, I got you.
You hear that? He filtered himself.
I was so vicious. I look back like I used to destroy people.
Yeah.
And I would get all the laughs, but I just look like thinking back. I remember of the look on the faces of the people I was getting, and they weren't laughing.
Yeah. Because you never know what the next person is going through. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays it's different. The kids are more sensitive now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why that is, but
it's the parenting. This gentle parenting.
Shit, I ain't gentle.
And social media, because social media magnifies everything.
Yeah.
Like you said, you go home and it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So, like, when we went home, you went home from school, like, whatever was going on in school, it stops when you get home.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have cell phone. We didn't have all that contact with everybody. Now, I don't think the human mind is created to have that much interaction with so many people every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why social media has heightened so many things with mental health and bullying and all this stuff that we're seeing, because you actually start, even me as a grown up, you start thinking those people in your timeline matter in your life.
Yeah, and they don't.
And they don't.
Like it's somebody you see maybe once a year or every couple years. Like they're not a real factor in your life. Yeah.
I've had so many people that I don't give a shit about in real life. But on social media, they've really bothered me in real life because it was just constant.
It was just sitting on you. It was just sitting on you. I kind of feel like part of it too, though, is I remember growing up. Like I went to St. Joe's first, and then it became Resurrection. Then we were St. Anthony's. So like St. Joe's, our doors were locked every day. St. Anthony's, they weren't for a little bit, but then this was before the prison was secure as it is. One of the prisoners got out one time and got into the school. He ran around naked. We thought it was hilarious because we didn't know what the security risk was that was happening in that moment. So we thought it was funny. But, like, our doors were always locked. You go into any city environment, into a school, there's usually a buzzer. You got to ring a doorbell. Those doors are locked at all time because they recognize that in the environment that they're in, they're prone to more danger. You get to these rural, suburban schools, and it's this false sense of security. It's this false sense of safety. Like, oh, you know, we live in a nice neighborhood. Everybody has nice cars. We all see each other at church on Sunday. Nothing like that would ever happen here.
No,
and they're ignoring all of the underlying problems in that community that are about to explode like this.
Yep.
I was just saying that I used to see all these mass shootings have been happening our whole life, but just recently I'm starting to feel like when I go out and there's a bunch of people, I'm looking around now like who looks weird, like
because it's not just schools anymore. It's at the mall, it's at the movie theater, it's at the grocery store.
I ran over this week too by a Trump supporter. At the grocery store. I did. I had a week.
I didn't even hear about that.
Why are you always in some shit?
It wasn't like, and everybody stopped that was crossing the way because he almost hit a white guy too. Like I think he was planning on coming around the corner. Like he was going to
plow through?
And plow through people.
We see that happen too.
Amari was behind me. He was like, Mom, stop. If he wasn't there, he would have hit me. Oh. So it was like, and then when he drove by, I seen the Trump Pence sticker on the back, and I was like, motherfucker.
When I see those Trump stickers, like this is how polarizing this
I assume you're a dick.
Yeah.
Like I automatically assume you don't fuck with me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not necessarily true.
It is probably true.
It's
probably true. It's probably true.
Yeah, I told her, I said, hurry up and get in the car, let's go, because he might be making a circle, he might be coming around, he might be trying to, you know what I'm saying? I said, hurry up and get in the car, let's go. He's just taking his good old time, like he don't give a fuck. I said, get your ass in the car and let's go. Like he's not scared. He think he's invincible. This boy,
but yeah, so our thoughts and prayers are with all of the families though, with Texas, with Buffalo. I hope you all heal.
Yes.
Aren't we tired of just saying that though?
I know. Something needs to happen. Like,
yeah.
I feel like we say that all the time.
We've had so many just being on air here. Like, we've had so many times where we've had to make these announcements. Yeah.
Like, I remember, and when I talk to 20-somethings that are so passionate about social justice and this and that, I try not to discourage them.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, when I started podcasting, and when these things would happen, I'd come on the show, and it was, no, we have to get this. And now I'm just like, the wind are taken out of my sails. And it kind of makes me, understand a little bit, like when the civil rights movement was going on, and after they killed Malcolm, they killed Martin, and the Black Panthers, they killed them off, and black folks didn't have a leader after that. It kind of took the wind out of the sails. I didn't understand. I was like, yo, why do we stop having a leader? I feel like that now. Like, I kind of feel like defeated.
Yeah. Like, where do we turn?
Yeah, like, what do I do now? Like,
yeah.
I don't even know. Like, we can't change the laws.
But our generation, too, we've lived through so much. We've lived through Columbine, through 9/11. You know, we've lived through, you know, recessions. We've lived through, you know, government recessions, all this and that. We've gone through a whole lot of shit. We've been through more than one war at this point in our lifetime. You know,
we've almost never not been in one.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like our generation, it's just been one thing after another for us. You know, one thing that after another that we've had to see and had to deal with and had to figure out to only still continue to see no change.
Just think about, like, in my lifetime, I know, like, I was born into the 3 Mile Island, the radiation. They call me a radiation baby. So I was born into that, and then we went through 9/11, of course. We went through all these wars. We've been through seeing people get killed on TV. We've seen all of these things. And then we went through a pandemic, which was the wildest shit. Like, we've been through shit that we've only seen in movies, and it's coming to life.
Yeah,
it's starting to make me think, like, all these futuristic movies, like when the computers and the robots take over. I'm like, we're probably close to that too.
Yeah. We went through the Y2K bug too. Remember
they just announced a thing the other day. They're starting to do human trials on this
the chip that
chip that goes into your head.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, they're starting human trials for that shit. And if you look back though at the movies that were created in like the 80s,
to collect data?
It's like it'll help to you can put your brain into like so basically you can implant your memories in your brain into a computer, like into a robot, and you'll never die.
Well, that, and it's supposed to make you smarter too, supposedly.
I ain't gonna hold you. I would love to have all of my thoughts collected on a computer chip, but I don't know about the rest of that shit. Cause I'm just saying, because I've smoked a lot of weed in my day.
Like, he just wants a memory chip. He wants an SD card.
There's a lot of great shit that I forgot.
Well, if you forgot, it's not gonna be on the chip.
It's not an iCloud. Yeah. It's not like the iCloud where it like.
Let's save that shit on the chip.
Just put it in there. It's all right. But if you look back at like movies from the 80s and shit, when they would like have those futuristic movies talking about this kind of stuff, the time in the movie is right about where we're at.
Yeah, the one with Arnold
It was all like in 2023.
Yeah.
You know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, fuck, that's right around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's here.
Like, well, let's get ready for Terminator.
Right.
Oh, my God. You know what?
Oh, my God. So we've had a lot of interesting things go on this week. So in celebrity news, there is a cat fight going on over Diddy, which is just the most random. The most random thing I've never seen two women fight over Diddy ever.
It's Diddy love now.
You know what it is? Diddy's messing with these young girls.
That's what it is.
They're not prepared to be messing with someone like Diddy.
And I think they're desperate to hold on to him because that's a paycheck dating him.
Just imagine what Diddy dating you is like.
We still talk about Ciara to this day. She hasn't dropped the album in like 15 years.
She don't have to.
She doesn't have to. She dated Diddy for like 10 years.
Ciara dated Diddy?
I mean, not Ciara. Who am I thinking of?
Oh, the girl just had the one who.
Yeah, she's married now.
Cassie.
Cassidy. Yeah, basically same artist.
She had one hit.
One.
Because of Diddy.
And then started dating him.
Yep.
Like, that's a life maker.
She was underage then.
But now Diddy got two.
Okay, R. Kelly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one is a famous rapper and one is a IG model, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they both 20-something.
Mm-hmm.
And 20-somethings ain't ready to stop being messy.
My thing is, he was out
And
in public with both of them, though. He was in public with both
like
of them.
He's going through like a midlife crisis or something.
If Diddy was dating somebody his age, they wouldn't be doing all this mess.
No. I don't know if he enjoys it. Like, he likes some men like the idea of like two women fighting over them.
But it's Diddy though. He's not really that attractive.
He's not, but he's rich, so that makes him hotter.
Super rich.
Yeah.
Like super duper rich.
And powerful.
Yeah.
His legs aren't bow-legged. He got them weird legs.
That's the deal breaker.
His legs cave inward.
It's Young Miami, right? From City.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I forget the girl's
Gina.
name. Gina. Yep.
Gina Wang.
The model.
And these are both 20-somethings, and they're both attractive women.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he's doing what? Because I think I had a friend who was pushing 40, and I remember we was getting drunk, and you know when you get drunk, the truth comes out. And he was like, I bet, because his girl was like 20-something, and he's 40, and he's telling me like, I bet you're 20-something. I know that, and it was like his trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So I know like there's some men my age. I'm 40. I'm over 40, so barely.
Every time he says something like